Hi, my name's Morgan. I am a name consultant. I love talking about names. I love thinking about them. Typically, my role as a name consultant is to be suggesting names to my clients, but every now and then I dabble in predicting like celebrity baby names, and I've had good luck in the past, so I thought I would throw my hat in the ring and try to guess what Nara Smith and Lucky Blue Smith might end up naming their next baby. Their current kids' names are Gravity Blue. Lucky had her with a former relationship, and then together they have got Rumble Honey, Slim Easy, and most recently Whimsy Lou. And I made a video on TikTok predicting what they might end up naming Whimsy Lou, and while I didn't get the name correct, some of the patterns I observed with their older kids' names were strengthened with Whimsy being born, so I feel like I might have more luck with this guess. But to be honest, going into it, I didn't know much about Nara or Lucky Blue. They've always been on like the periphery of my online existence where I've known who they were, but I haven't known much about them. So I did a mini deep dive for this video. I learned a lot about them. Maybe you'll learn something about them. So starting with Lucky Blue, he got his start online, or just like in his career as a model, and he was signed to a modeling agency at the age of 12. It was Next Management, and he moved to LA with his family. He's got 3 sisters, Starly Cheyenne, Daisy Clementine, and Piper America. And for a long time, he was the second most followed male model on social media, according to models.com. So kind of a fun fact, he's always had quite the presence online. He actually, the Tumblr girls used to be obsessed with him, which I was not aware of because I like dabbled on Tumblr when I was younger, but I never got so far into it. But apparently he was the star of like a lot of fan fictions when he was like still very much a child, so I won't get too deep into that. But also while he was still very young, when he was a teenager, he got linked with the model Stormy Bree, who was well into her 20s. And at the age of 19, and I think she was 26, they had their first and only baby together, and that was Gravity Blue. And from what I found, their relationship did not continue very long after Gravity was born, but they still have a good co-parenting relationship, and we've actually seen glimpses of Gravity in some of Nara's videos. Now, Nara Smith, formerly Nara Pellman, is South African and German, and she is very notorious online for her very over-the-top extravagant cooking videos with her very calming, very sweet voice, talking about, you know, my kids were craving a 5-course meal for breakfast, so of course I woke up and made it for them, and it's the most elaborate meal you've ever seen, wearing the most gorgeous outfit you've ever seen, like the type of gown somebody wears to an awards show. She also began modeling quite young. When she was 14, she was scouted via IMG's We Love Your Jeans campaign, where girls would go on Instagram and do like little introduction videos or just like little selfies with the hashtag We Love Your Jeans. And she caught their attention and became a model. She signed at 14, and at 18 she moved to the United States to pursue modeling further. She and Lucky met in Milan Fashion Week in 2019, and then by 2020 they were married. She hasn't announced the baby's gender as far as I'm aware at the time of me filming this, but she has talked about the boy names and the girl names that she likes. So for the boys, she likes Moss, Goody, Sunday, spelled like an ice cream sundae, Champ, Silk, and Dare. And for the girls, she likes Twinkle, Velvet, Button, Willowmere, Apple, Berry, Butter, Merit, and Shimmer. And if you have as many years babysitting under your belt as I do, there might be a big elephant or pony in the room right now. Seeing the names that they've used, the names that they have liked, has led me to wonder if Lucky Blue Smith is a Bronie. If you are not familiar, a Bronie is defined as an older fan, usually an adult male, of the show My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. And a lot of the names they like, a lot of the names they have used come directly from the show My Little Pony. And that led me farther down the rabbit hole. So the names that they liked for Whimsy were Pepper, Dawn, Pear, Cherry, Bubble, Frosty, Sunny, Silver, Zen, Eden, Gaia, and Chrome. And then I did the same exact thing, and I looked into which of those names come from the My Little Pony universe, and here's what I found. Pepper, Dawn, Pear, Cherry, Sunny, and Silver are all directly MLP names. So I wanted to look even further back at their kids' names, and I found Rumble Honey and Whimsy Lou both carry little references to the My Little Pony universe. There is a Pony Rumble, there's a Pony Apple Honey, and there's also Whimsy Weatherby. Spelled a little differently, but still the reference is there as far as I'm concerned. And very quickly before we go on any further, I wanted to show you the little pattern I've also noticed with their names, which is fairly obvious. So we've got Gravity Blue, Rumble Honey, Slim Easy, and Whimsy Lou. And then breaking it down, each of them, so the first and middle name, one of those names is going to end with an E sound, and I'm anticipating they're going to continue that with this next baby. So going back to the My Little Pony names, I was looking for the names specifically that end with that E sound, and I pulled all of those and put them in a list separately. I just kind of examined and I'm like, which of these are definitely not going to be used? Which of these might be used? Then I highlighted the ones that I thought they would use, or that they would like the most. And like, obviously they've already used honey. I don't think they're going to repeat it, but I highlighted it because obviously they like it. So going back in time, I will read off the predictions I gave when they were pregnant with Whimsy Lou. And even at that time, I observed that there was a little bit of a My Little Pony theme going on, so I kept that in mind, and there are a lot of My Little Pony references in my Whimsy predictions. And I think any of these predictions could still stand for this next baby. With Whimsy, we also didn't know, if I'm recalling, if they were having a boy or a girl, so these were all gender neutral-ish suggestions. Prim Cozy, Ace Fizzy, Valley Brass, Sonder Every, Morning Early, Holiday Hazy, Tower Cozy, Smoky Bloom, Acre Fury, Petal Brightly, Dizzy Reason, Witty Rye, Bravo Jolly, Lively Evergreen, Fiery Chrome, and Vastly Canyon. One thing I've noticed that they don't do that I wish they would is they don't alliterate. So I've got Holiday Hazy in there, and I think that sounds so good for their vibe. Not for like the average person I know, but for their vibe, Holiday Hazy, like that could be perfect, but they've never been one to play with alliteration. Something I thought was worth considering is they do only have one son, and that is Slim Easy. So I wanted to come up with a set of predictions specifically focusing on a one-syllable first name and then the middle name ending with the E sound, just in case they repeat that pattern if they do have a boy this time around. So the names I pulled were Days Valley, Ace Savvy. I think Ace for first name might be too like common for them, but I love the idea of Ace for them. I really hope if they have a boy, he is Ace. Bright Medley, Charm Boldly, Count Rarity, Mint Dizzy, Flash Fury, another alliteration name. The alliteration names are so fun. Hitch Bravely, Dash Party, Rook Winsley, Gem Rarity, Bolt Fizzy, Song Very, Root Screwy, Point Savvy, Sir Ripley, Lock Mary, Sea Century, another alliteration, I couldn't help myself, Fair Ripley, and Fleur Lemony. And then not following that one-syllable first name pattern, these were just mixing and matching names in the My Little Pony universe. Eclair Rarity, Spanner Berry, Silver Pearly, Shady Wave, Petals Medley, Peachy Gazer, Streak Cozy, Eiffel Sunny, Lady Dove, Zest Twiggy, Blush Ivory, Citrus Winsley, Zoom Shady, Charm Starry, Bright Ivory, Holiday Starry, Dazzle Cherry, Glider Minty, Rook Savvy, and Bloom Posy. Bloom is another one. I would love if they used Bloom in the first or middle name. I feel like that sibling set is begging to have Ace in there for a boy and Bloom in there for a girl. Like, it would work so well. And they are the My Little Pony references, so it checks that box for them too. Really, my predictions for them are just a big game of mixing and matching. I would love to know what names you would mix and match to suggest for them if you think that Lucky Blue is a Bronie. I don't know if I really believe that, but it is kind of a fun angle to spin things on, and if he is not in fact a Bronie and they're not pulling names from the My Little Pony universe, I don't even know where they're pulling the names from. But I love trying to get inside their brains, and I think the most valid angle I could find for them was there is some Bronie influence, or what did they call the female Bronies? Pegasuses. So Pegasus, like S-I-S instead of S-U-S. I don't know. I think one of them, though, is heavily invested in My Little Pony. That's my 2 cents. And I know a lot of people, they actually think the names are pseudonyms to protect the kids' privacy, and I love the idea of that. I really, really do. I just don't know if I buy it for them specifically. I think I could say, I imagine some influencers are doing that. I don't think Lucky and Nara are, but they could be. I could be so wrong. But because of Lucky Blue and his siblings' names, I feel like they just kind of wanted to continue down that line of giving like the iconic one-of-a-kind names for their kids, is my 2 cents, but I could be totally wrong there. I'd love to know what you think on that as well. Thank you for watching. I was really trying to make this video 20 minutes. I don't even know if it's gonna be 10, but that is what it is. I'm working on getting better at like the long form stuff. It's been a fun challenge. So I appreciate all the support here. It has been fun and challenging and different getting used to like sitting down and doing longer form, more thought out videos for YouTube. I'm enjoying it and I appreciate the support. People have been really nice. So thank you very much and I hope everyone's having a wonderful week.